Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. We're back with Manchester United live football action and it's Manchester United at Nottingham Forest. Watch along in the Premier League. It feels like a long time since Manchester United have been playing games of football, but I tell you what, there's a lot of games of football to play now. Some might say that we are underdogs winning this game, but I don't think so. I'm going Manchester United to win 2-0. I'm confident we're going to win. And look, I've been writing Forest off all season. Some people, prats, are calling this the Goldbridge derby. I've got no idea. Just because you're born in a city, why can't it be Notts County? You know, why can't it be Mansfield Town? It's never going to be Derby. But, yeah, a lovely photo behind me there of the Dublin show. Absolutely fantastic. And love the photo, says Ladios. But, yeah, what are your thoughts on this Man United side? I look at this Manchester United side, and I think it's all about the players. And I look at that Manchester United side, and I'm like, you know what? It's an interesting one. It's a very interesting one. We'll go through that in a moment. We're also sponsored by Boohoo Man, so you can get 10% off with the code Goldbridge. Get all your clothing delivered to your door. They've already got discounts. You can get 10% on top of any discount with Boohoo Man. We'll go through that in a moment as well. Big shout out to Boohoo Man. Links in the description. But let's have a look at this Man United side to start off with. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that? Beryl Carpenter is man of the match. No, Beryl Carpenter's a new member. Hope you're doing well, Beryl. You're not playing, so you can't be man of the match. And you're probably not a man, which is fine. But look, we are live. Astro Boy says it's the Goldbridge derby. Already done it, mate. Stop nicking my own jokes. Already done it. But I suppose the big surprise is Rasmus is not starting. He's gone with that. Oh, put the Forest team up. Oh, Forest fan. He's a bloody Forest fan. He's put the Forest team. I saw red. There's the Man United side. As you can see, Joshua Zirkzee is playing as the striker. Bruno is playing as the number 10. Garnacho is next to him. And then Casemiro is in the midfield with Ugarte. I'll tell you what, I like the back five. The goalkeeper was never going to change, although I wish it would. But I suppose the real surprise is in the midfield. He hasn't been using Casemiro much this season. And then after a break, with everybody back, starts using Casemiro. He's been using Bruno as a midfielder, and I've even said that I see Bruno as a midfielder now, puts him back as number 10. Literally said this morning, I don't see him as a number 10 in an Amram system. We start getting used to him being a bloody midfielder, and he puts him back as a number 10. He's a little tinker. He's a tinker man, that Amram, isn't he? I mean, I love Amram. I want him to do well, but he keeps you on your toes. I genuinely thought we'd seen the end of Bruno as a 10, and I didn't think he could be a midfielder. And I get used to him being a midfielder, and then he's back as a number 10. Zirkzee is a number 10, and he's back up front. So there's a little bit of things going on there. I don't know whether Rasmus is carrying an injury. I don't know. I'm not that bothered that he's not starting. I do sort of take on board that he's actually finally hit some confidence, and he's been dropped. That is, I suppose, strange, but we don't actually know why he's on the bench. Has he trained badly? Has he had a knock? Is it tactical? Yeah, I don't know. And as Mark Dennehy says, he's got a weird feeling that Bruno could be playing up front. Thanks for the super chat, Mark. I think you're our first one of the evening. Appreciate that. Gary Neville, which team are you supporting today, Mark? Imagine if it was the real one. That would be good banter, which makes me know it's not the real one. Dooley Hawk says he's been a member for 4 months. Worried about where the goals will come from with that CDM pairing, and no Rasmus because of strong centre-backs, says King. I don't know that Zirkzee's that good against strong centre-backs. He's better at dropping off and being a false nine, isn't he? As I said, I think he's gone with Casemiro and Ugarte for physicality against the very physical side. I think it's that simple. I think he's not put Bruno in the midfield because he wants a bit of steel in the midfield. That's just my interpretation. I might be completely wrong, but when I saw the team, that was my assessment, is that's what he's doing. He's going with a physical midfield, but I might be wrong. I have been wrong in the past, so who knows? I guess we would just have to wait and see. But yeah, I think bringing Casemiro, I mean, that's not our best 11, is it? I mean, I don't see that as the team that's going to cause Leon problems a week on Thursday. So I think he's gone a little bit tactical. My score prediction for the game is going to be 2-0 to Manchester United. I watched the Forest-Brighton game at the weekend. It was absolutely terrible. and I thought they were terrible. I think they can only be better, but I have not watched a lot of Forest this season. You lot may have watched them a little bit more than me, but they're a bit of a, to coin a Will Brazier saying, they're a bit of a tough wank. You know, they're a tough watch. I don't think they're high scorers. They're not high conceders. It might play into our hands away from home, having a bit of possession. Typical O on TikTok. Thanks for the follow. I think it might play into our hands being away from home, not having the pressure of Old Trafford, having a lot of the ball. It might be something to do with that. Sheeran says, Rasmus had ice on his leg against Portugal. Yeah, it could be something to do with that. Orange, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much. Lewis has asked about a score prediction. I've gone 2-0 to United. Why are you so confident? Hudson-Odoi's not playing for them, says Hader. Yeah, I'll show you the Nottingham Forest side in a moment, but let me just talk about Boohoo Man, because they are actually sponsoring our stream tonight, and you can get a bit of trivia going with Boohoo Man as well. We always have a little bit of a game here. So Boohoo Man are sponsoring the stream. Could be steamy. I'm not intending to take my top off though. Although if you are intending to take your top off, you could replace it with something from Boohoo Man. I'm seamless. I should get way more brand deals. That's not even in the script. Today's show is sponsored by Boohoo Man. We love Boohoo Man here on the United Stand. I've got a bit of United Stand trivia coming for you in a minute, but you get an exclusive 10% off at Boohoo Man with the code Goldbridge. So anything on their website that's got a discount on it, you can add 10% off as well. Additionally to that, by using the code Goldbridge. Get yourself kitted out for the spring, summer, or just if you want to chill out or down the gym. They've got a lot at Boohoo Man. Get it delivered to your door. Use the code Goldbridge if you want to get some clothing. But also, they have given us a little bit of a trivia quiz here. Which Man United player am I talking about? I was born on the 14th of August 1989 in Spain. He's Spanish. I joined Man United in 2014 for 30 million and spent 5 years there. During my time at United, I won the FA Cup, the Community Shield, the EFL Cup and the Europa League. I famously spat on the Manchester City badge, but one of my most favourable moments at United was man-marking Eden Hazard in a 2-0 win over Chelsea, where I scored and assisted. I was at that game. I left United in 2019 on a free transfer, joining PSG, then back to Atletico Bilbao, and I now play for Boca Juniors in the Argentinian Premier Division. I didn't even know that. I did not know that. Did you know that? I did not know that. I did not know that Ander Herrera is playing in the Argentine Premier Division. I thought he'd retired, so well done there. Big shout out to Boohoo Man. Get an extra 10% off with the code Goldbridge, delivered to your door, and thank you for a very good trivia piece there from Boohoo Man. Right, let's have a look at the Nottingham Forest side. Let's be having you. Where are you? Let's be having you. There we go. So Forest have lined up third in the league. They've got Sells, Aina, Milenkovic, Murillo and Williams. It's a very good back five. It's one of the best in the league. Yates, Anderson and Gibbs-White, very energetic. Alanga, formerly of United, Danilo and Awoniyi. Chris Wood's out. Big blow for them. Hudson-Odoi is out as well. So they are missing a couple of players. I think that saw this with Bournemouth against Man City on Sunday. When these teams like the Forests and the Bournemouths and the Fulhams and the Brentfords are missing a couple of good players, I think it can cause them problems. Arish and Welnick, thank you very much for the follow on TikTok. Some roses coming in from John as well. I don't know what they are. I've heard a lion on TikTok is amazing. I haven't seen any lions, but I probably won't see any lions. But thanks for the roses, John. Appreciate that. Thanks for the follows as well, you legends. Right. Hello, Mark. Imagine a scenario where City finish 6th and don't qualify for the Champions League and United win the Europa League and qualify, says Mohammed. That, to me, is a dream scenario. Hi, Mark. Hope you and your family are doing well. Let's go United, says Michael. You too, Michael. You too. Tough tug when there's no wood up front, says Spin. Thank you very much for your early super chats. Appreciate that. 15,000 tuning in on YouTube. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe. We're on 50,000 now on YouTube, so thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for that. Okay, let's go through some Ruben Amorim quotes before the game. He said, we want to play games and we want to win games. We want to also pay attention to the performance, but we need to find ways to win games in this kind of league. We have a lot to do until the end of the season. We want to win games in the Premier League, go up in the table, and we want to fight for Europa League. So we have to take advantage of every minute of every game and every training. It's really important because, you know, the momentum comes from, especially from points, from winning games. So we have to continue to do that. We are more confident, but we have to prove that today on the pitch. We need to be really focused on the game. We have to do because we have to improve against big teams as well. We really need to be focused, really concentrate in everything. Set pieces, transitions, they are really strong. They're really smart. They're in a good moment as well. So if we're focused and we have energy in the game, we can win any game. He also, obviously, is looking to win the game, I think, from all that. He said win the game a lot, didn't he? But look, I spoke about this on the international break. Some people disappear for the international break, so I will repeat it. I basically said that with Manchester United, we have got this situation going on where we've got some really difficult games coming up, and our lowest ever points tally in the Premier League is 59 points. We're currently on 37, so we're 22 points off it with 27 points to play. It's virtually impossible for us to get. We won't do it. We've also got to go to Newcastle, Bournemouth, Brentford. We've got to play the Manchester Derby. We've got to play Chelsea. We've got to play Aston Villa. There's a lot of potential losses for Manchester United, and Forest away tonight's a tough game. So I think Amorim's under a bit of pressure because every place he moves up in the league, he gets 3 million quid. Now, I would like to have owners that say, screw the league and focus on the Europa League. But I actually think he's under pressure to do something in the Premier League as well. So tonight is very important because when you look at the games we've got left, although Forest are very good, Forest away is probably a more likely place to get 3 points when they've played extra time on Saturday and got injuries than Newcastle away in a couple of weeks, or Bournemouth or Brentford away. So there's not that many. I think we've got West Ham and Wolves at home where you'd look at it and go, maybe that's 6 points. So he's got to start picking up points. He's definitely going to be under some pressure to try and move us up the league for monetary reasons. So yeah, I'm with you, Linda. I'm F the league, exactly. But I think he is under a bit of pressure to. It'd be very interesting. I think there should be more rotation, but we will see over the coming weeks. We have nothing to lose. We are dangerous. Forest should be worried dropping from top 4. Look, Forest are the favourites. I think we're going to win. Yeah, but there we go. Mark, my good friend Hunter Connor got some today for the first time. If he can win, so can United, says Bonk. I mean, that is just the best analysis ever. You should be on Match of the Day. United need to buy captains again, make United great again, says that kid Vic. Thanks for your super chat. Nelson says the midfield needs to stay disciplined, keep it simple, no sloppy passes and keep possession. I think Casemiro's in the team to give us a little bit of physicality next to Ugarte as well. Amorim's got the hoodie on again, contractually obliged, isn't he? I mean, it makes me sick really, but you know, it is a nice hoodie, but you know, it's just so commercial, isn't it? We're in the bottom half of the league and we're shit, but the manager's wearing the hoodie so that we can sell a few whilst people get sacked and ticket prices go up. I'm here, Mark. You may start the show, says Parker. And hi, Mark. Hope you have done that one from Michael as well. Big G on TikTok says, rotate who? Unfortunately, your first choice is not up to it. How are your squad members going to cut it? I don't really care, Big G, because I think what you're doing there is you're thinking that we give a shit about the results in the Premier League. We need to rotate in the Premier League to rest for the Europa League. I'm not looking to rotate and win. I don't care about the Premier League. I don't care about finishing 13th instead of 15th. Obviously, Sir Jim Radcliffe does because it's 6 million. Every place you move up, you get 3 million. You know, Sir Jim Radcliffe would have baked beans the night before a bath so he can have a bubble bath. Like he is Scrooge McDuck. So they're going to want us to move up the league. I don't care whether we finish third or third. We're not finishing third. I don't care where we finish. It doesn't bother me. Sorry, the volume is a little bit down. I'm just going to whack it up a bit. So yeah, I'm not really that bothered. But I think we will try. And also, let's be clear. If I said to you, Forest away, Newcastle away, Bournemouth away, Brentford away, Chelsea away, Man City at home, Villa at home, Wolves and West Ham at home. That's your 9 games. There's not really obvious wins apart from Wolves and West Ham. So you've got to try and get... You can't lose 7 games, can you? So he's got to try. This is probably one of his best opportunities to win away from home, because it's straight after the international break. You wouldn't be looking to rotate. You want to get your players back in the rhythm again. And also, Forest played on the Saturday and have got a couple of injuries. So you're going to go for it. Brian's given us another rose on TikTok. Thank you very much for those. Belly button, thank you very much. Thanks for the follows there as well. Do you think United should put everything into the Europa League, says Jay? Absolutely, 100%, yes. Mark Goldbridge derby tonight, says Ben. Yeah, we've already done that, but thank you very much. Heart of United's been a member for 20 months and says, lovely picture in the background, Mark. It is. I mean, I don't know whether I'm going to go back to the definitely maybe one or keep that, but that is United stand relevant, so probably going to keep with that. Xerxes up front will be interesting. Murillo and... is it Murillo? Murillo and Milenkovic. I mean, funnily enough, I remember us getting linked to Milenkovic. Yeah, he's a very good player. They are very good defensively. Just one thing I haven't mentioned, actually, from United's point of view, and we don't normally mention it because it's normally a bit depressing, but the bench for Manchester United tonight, I actually quite like it. There are a few young players on there, but there's some experience on there. Binder is back. Amas. Maguire. Lindelof. Collier. Ericsson. Kone. Mount. Rasmus. So we've got a few, we've got quite a mix there, which is good. Bit of youth, bit of experience, definitely. Going to be a tough match. We need to start fast, says Little Fat Dosser. Win coming in tonight, says Connor Head. Would love to see you interviewing Bruno one day, says Dunny. Oh, there's some weirdos out there. Apparently I hate Bruno. I do not. Like, I never shut up about us signing Bruno. He's been a bit disappointing over the last 18 months, but if you can't see that, you're a prat. But over the last few weeks, he's been brilliant. He's just won Premier League Player of the Month. I want him to do well. You know, I want him to do well. We need Obi, says Mackenzie. I think he played last night, didn't he? I'm sure I heard Amarim say he won't be playing tonight because he was playing last night. So I don't know what the team was last night because I was in London doing something else. But yeah, I think we all knew Obi would not be involved. Z3 music official says, why do I feel as though my liver is going to hate me over the next few hours? Here's to being back from international break. Cheers. Lovely stuff. Bruno's going to score today, says FU at MUFC. Damu. Milinkovic reminds me of Vidic, says Dr. Peg. Lovely name. And glad the football is back, says Daff. Yes, it is so good to have proper football back. It really is. Do you think we'll see Mason Mount? Yeah, I think you would be looking to bring Mason Mount on at some point in this game. Look, he's on the bench. He was on the bench the last game. It would be nice to see him back. I do think there's a decent player there. I just don't know how long he's going to stay fit. I don't know with Mason Mount. I think with Luke Shaw, he's definitely done. But I think with Mason Mount, there are major concerns, obviously, about his injury record. But you know, you've got to try, haven't you? You've got to try, definitely. But it's good to have Binder back. But Onana will still start. He is the guy. He is the guy. Bruno's not going to Madrid, BNK, no. I just don't see it. Not unless they are going to offer £90 million, but I don't think they're ever going to do that. Thank you, Mark. Long-time viewer, says Gregory, who is staying next season at United despite the rumours. Example, Bruno to Madrid. Just literally spoke about that. Bruno's not going to go anywhere. It was an interesting story. I think you'd be foolish not to take £90 million. But, yeah, he won't be going anywhere. I wanted that definitely maybe sign gone for ages. I love Oasis, but they're more City themes than United. Keep the new pick. It's much better. Come on, United, says Max94. Thank you very much for your super chat, pal. Appreciate that. If you could bring back one active player, back who? Says Garfield Patterson. What, one active player that's playing at the moment that's played for Manchester United? Oh, bloody hell. Well, it wouldn't be Ronaldo. There's no point in that. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka, McTominay went. I mean, you could bring Rashford back, couldn't you? Is there a good player that's out there? No, Cavani's retired, Red. They've got to be active. Alanga is not a bad shout, actually. I can't think of anybody that's out there that's played for Man United that's absolutely amazing, really. Danny Welbeck, not a bad shout. Paul Pogba, not anymore, no. Sabitzer. Yeah, I think most of them are past it, really. I probably would look at Alanga, really. I think Alanga's a good shout. Thank you very much. Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood's an interesting one, you know. Angel Gomez. Good question, Garfield. Pat yourself on the back. Hope you're doing well, Mark. Are you guys coming to Chicago for the preseason? Yes, we will be there, Shake. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. What's your prediction for today's game? United, to Spectre. Hi, Mark. I want to put ticket prices up even more. So this is Jim Radcliffe. Cheers, Mark, says Kevin. Hope we win as well. I'm going 2-0 to Manchester United. 2-0 to Manchester United. That's what I'm going to go with. 9 minutes away from the start of the game. Make sure you share the video and subscribe. Smash the like as well. Austin, thanks for the follow on TikTok as well on that one. So, yes, Manchester United against Nottingham Forest. Is there any reason to bring in stats? Not really. They're third in the league. We are absolutely terrible. I mean, I was looking at this earlier on. Hopefully we're just going to catch them on a bad day. Lots of people underestimate Nottingham Forest, myself as well. I genuinely don't really get why they are where they are, and that's really offensive and rude. But I watched them play against Man City a few weeks ago, and they deserved to win. It was a tight, boring game, but they did deserve to win. Counter-attack, etc. So you've got to be very, very careful of that. You've got to be very careful of the physicality. But the fact is that we're on 37 points, and they're on 54 points. They're 17 points ahead of us. They've only lost 7 games this season. We've lost 12. So, yeah, it's an opportunity for us. We're unbeaten in our last 4 Premier League games. That's a positive. So we've probably got one of the better records in the Premier League at the moment, beyond Liverpool. I think we're the only one. I think we are the only team unbeaten in our last 4, apart from the Merseyside sides, Everton and Liverpool. Nobody else is unbeaten in their last 4 in the whole league apart from us. So that's an interesting stat, isn't it? But we have played Leicester in our last game. Does the United Stand have a Discord server, says Jeremy? We do. I think the link is in the video description. Travis says, what about David De Gea? That's the one. That's the one. Garfield asked the question, what active player would you bring back to Manchester United? They've got to be active and playing. There's no point bringing Cavani back, he's retired. There's no point bringing Ronaldo back. He's, you know, very, very much towards the end of his career now. David De Gea, we need a goalkeeper. David De Gea. I tell you what, Dean Henderson, you could go for him. Is Dean Henderson not better than Onana? So, you know, lovely, lovely. George says, my dad's a massive fan. Shout outs. There we go. Big Boss Dog says we need to be very disciplined tonight and no defensive errors. And opinions on Amrin being nominated for Manager of the Month. Look, if he gets it, I'd be really, really happy with it. It doesn't feel like he should get it, but I don't massively keep an eye on everybody else anyway. Would you have Kasper Schmeichel to come in next year for Onana after his Europe heroics and Dad's connection with the club? No, not really. Suni, and hope you're doing well, Mark. I've done that one from Sheikh as well. Cavani's not retired, he's at Boca, but what I mean is Ronaldo's not retired either, is he? But they're not players that are going to come back and play every week, are they? They're not, are they? So glad it's match day. Cheers from Canada, says Nath Footy. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And Taran says Forest are going to beat you tonight. Don't care, not bothered. Let's be honest, they are the favourites. They're third in the league. They've had a very good season. They would be favourites to win this game. There's no issue with that. My name, Let's Binge and Andy Boy. Thanks for the follows on TikTok. Appreciate that. Yeah, it is still a night. Look, we're coming out of this now, aren't we? It's still a game under the lights, but the clocks have gone forward. We're not going to have many of those anymore. Summer is on its way. Spring is here. But Yeah, I'm going to go Man United 2-0 to win. Bench options as well. But we've got to be very careful. We have got to be very careful because these are the sort of games that have the ability to bite us in the arse, as they have done many times before. So let's hope not. Let's hope that let's hope we start to turn a corner, United. Definitely saw shoots of positivity against Leicester and Sociedad, but Sociedad did go down to 10 men and Leicester are terrible. So, yeah, but midfield of Casemiro and Agate. Bruno back into the number 10 position with Garnacho. And is Yoro on the bench? He's there in a tracksuit, but I didn't see him on the bench. He is on the bench. I didn't put... No, Yoro's starting. Bloody hell. What am I talking about? Bloody idiot. I didn't even spot that. Been talking to you for 26 minutes. Yoro's starting. So, who's out from the last game? Lindelof. Lindelof started in the last game, didn't he? Idiot. Yoro's back. 26 minutes late. I'll get back on track. I haven't had any live football for 2 weeks. Hi, Mark. You okay? Enjoy the game, says Leon. Thank you very much. Yeah, apart from missing out that Yoro's back. I didn't even think Yoro was on the bench, and there he is in the team. Bruno has equalled Luke Shaw's appearances today. He's been at the club for 5 years. Luke Shaw's been at the club for 10 years. It's a crazy stat, says Taryn. Did you see Sam crash out on Ricky this morning, says Barry? I'd have to be watching it to see it, mate. So it's absolutely over my head. I've got no context with that at all. Forest, very clear favourites. We need to fight hard. They will outwork us, says Marker SS. How do you feel about Xerxes up front, says Nath. Feeling a Xerxes masterclass tonight, says Dom. Sorry. Sorry, what was the question? Xerxes up front, not bothered. I am surprised, like some people, that Rasmus isn't starting, but as we have all said, it could be tactical, it could be how he's trained, he might have a knock. It seems a bit... I think it seems like we're doing something because we've got to do something. I think Xerxes better as a 10, and Bruno's been better as a pivot player, and Rasmus has been better up front. So I feel like it might be a reason for it, but so I'm not really that fussed about it, really. Glazers Out says, hi Mark, hope you're doing well. Just saw Twitter and everyone thinks you divide our fan base. I mean, what are they on? Don't read Twitter comments, mate, really. I don't. I mean, what am I doing? Explain that one to me. Happy that United are back the manager, back the team, excited to see us play. If that's divisive, then we truly are lost, aren't we? Because, you know, maybe people want to be negative. I don't know. I'm back, says Swami. Hope you're doing well. Mark, it's April Fool's. Does that mean something, says Liam. April Fool's is a load of rubbish. And also, April Fool's finishes at midday. I don't know why people still do April Fool's after midday. It finishes at midday. It always has. So there we go. Do you feel we should focus on Europa more, says SKP? Yes. I worry about mobility in the middle. Casemiro's got no legs, says Dan. He does have legs, by the way, if you're new to football. We haven't got a player in the midfield who's got no legs. They just mean it's a footballing term for he's running out of pace because he's over 30. Enjoy the game, says Leon. You too as well. Appreciate that. Scooby-Doo, says Touche. I'm standing up. I've got my new shelf as well, which you can't actually see. But I like to stand up for a watch-along. So I'm bloody going to. Oh, what's going on here? Get the chair out of the way. That'll do for a start. Okay. Good to go. United. 2-0. It's not 2-0 yet. I'm going 2-0 Man United. Right. Let's get this timer ready. Oh, feels like it's a long time. Player ratings after the game as well. Don't forget, I'll tell you later. Get yourself registered if you want to do that. Xerxes going to take the kickoff, so he will be... none of this Bruno false 9 stuff, I don't think. And away we go. Come on then, lads. Let's do it. Right, please share the video. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Thanks everyone on TikTok as well. Make sure you give us a follow and subscribe. Hope you're well. How's your shoulder? It's doing absolutely fine now. Thank you very much from South Africa. Luche, appreciate that. Atmosphere will be crazy, says HRT. Yeah, they've got nothing else to do in Nottingham. I grew up there. Like, really, there's nothing to do. So, yeah. Hope you're well. Thank you very much. Darren Snedden, thanks for being a member for 18s. Jacob, thanks for the follow as well. So United playing in blue. Forest playing in red. We're at the City Ground in Nottingham. And you know what I always find funny as well is how you predict this game having not watched the team play for 2 weeks. And about 5 minutes in, you go, oh yeah, I forgot that. So hopefully that's not going to happen. Henry T, thanks you, says Ganacho Masterclass incoming. I hope so. Let's go United. Can you call my son Silvio a prat, says Gamer Silvio. There we go. Sure you're not Silvio, mate, if you call Silvio. Pitch looks nice. Headed by Casemiro there. Who's the number 9? Oh, Xerxes was... I couldn't see where Xerxes was there. Yeah, Mazraoui's playing left-sided centre-back. Yoro's playing right-sided centre-back. That was something I wanted to see in the first few minutes. Game is on reflection behind you. No, it's not. That is a light shining on there. Ref, from that Arsenal game, we are in trouble, says Jacob. Oh, God, they were actually terrible. To be honest, that light is doing my head in anyway. I'm just going to knock that down. I need to sort that out for the future. It's too bright. Ref, from the Arsenal game. AJ, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much. Gabriel has done his hamstring a week from Madrid, says Smithy. I was actually thinking that the other day. How we will definitely get injuries over the next few weeks with big games coming up. Not everyone will stay fit across everywhere. So, yeah, I think that will happen. Jim Jones says, why the confidence, Mark? Forest are no mugs. I don't know. I just feel confident. I do feel confident. Slow start. Look, I tell you what I will say, and I think everyone's going to agree with me on this one. It might not be the best watch. Forest have done very well this season, and funnily enough, I think if they made the Champions League, they'd probably do quite well because they've got this very Nuno. I remember Nuno when he did well at Wolves. They are very well organised. They don't concede many goals, but they're not necessarily the best team to watch because they're not very open. They're hard to break down. You know, you could do with an early goal, really. Hope you're well, says Matthew. How does English homegrown thing work? We only have 3 English players in the squad, non-starting. Love from South Africa. You're homegrown if you've been at the... Bruno! Shoots. Corner. Long way out, but forced to save from the keeper and won a corner. That'll do. Good start. Nice little link-up play. Delit winning it high up the pitch. Gets it back from Ganacho, Bruno, and then he has a good shot. Forces a save, hit it well. Homegrown. You're homegrown if you've been at the club for 3 years before your 21st birthday. So Ganacho's homegrown. Kone will be homegrown. Obi will be homegrown. So you don't just have to have a British passport. Can you update us with other scores, please, says Garfield. I haven't been looking, mate, but I will have a look. Corner comes in, headed away. Bruno puts it back in again, headed away. They're going to be very good at that. They're going to be very, very good at that. Headed away now. They've got another break now. Forest have got a break. Oh, no, don't do it. Tackle him. Tackle him. For God's sake, tackle him. Why aren't you tackling him? Bloody hell. That defence. Why didn't they tackle him? Alanga's not celebrating. You may as well bloody celebrate, mate, because we're rubbish there. Who's that backing off? Tackle him. Bloody, I've seen more tackle on Pornhub. Bloody hell. Absolutely rubbish start. You just can't speak. How has that happened? It's literally what they do. They literally do that. They counter-attack. What have we been doing for 2 weeks? It's so simple. Look at this. Garnacho can't make the tackle. Dorgu can't put the tackle in. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Alanga as well. I mean, it doesn't matter that it's Alanga. It's the fact that, I mean, Onana's never saving that. I don't know whether he's in the centre of his goal because that seems very, very, very simple. I'd love to see the position of Onana behind that, actually. But, oh, what a shit start. I mean, call it how it is. Had to be Alanga, says Shahin. Should have kept Alanga, says Joey. Yeah, can I just say about Alanga, that is irrelevant. Amram didn't sell Alanga, and neither did Ineos. So there's no point in saying should have kept Alanga. There is literally no headline about Alanga. Amram didn't sell him. Ineos didn't sell him. So it's irrelevant. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well. Done that one from Matthew. All I've got in my head now is tackle him. I think that's it, isn't it? Tackle him. Patrick Swayze defending, yeah. Ghost defending. I feel like, look, Garnacho's a winger. So is he going to be good at tackling? No. But Mazraoui finds himself in a position where he can't commit because then Alanga will pass it. I think Dorgu's got to put the tackle in. Non-focused football, says Connor. Thank you, Dazzler. Pathetic by Dorgu, says Constantine. Yeah, miles off. Look, I'm not going to go in on a young new player. I like the look of Dorgu, but I'm honest, he has got to do better there because Mazraoui is in that horrible position where you're face on, there's a player there, there's a player there. You can't really do anything. You need the other guy to... And he's not in the bloody box. Make the foul. Take a yellow. You won't get a red because Mazraoui's there and he won't be a penalty because he's not in the box. It's that sort of clever mentality as well. Glazers did still relevant. Let's not avoid it to suit your agenda, says Joey. What agenda is this, Joey? What sort of weird obsessive are you now then? What are you on about? What agenda have you got? I'd love to know, Joey. I don't like Ineos and I don't like Sir Jim, but you can't blame them about Alanga and you can't blame Amram about Alanga. And if we're blaming the Glazers, 20 years of it, mate. Bore off. I can't stand the Glazers, but they're the only ones you can blame about Alanga. And I'd blame them for a lot more than that. Slow Sports News says, could be anyone, shouldn't be letting players in that easy. If Alanga didn't shoot, then he had a free option to left as well. Yeah, we were in trouble there. Pete says, depressed, time for a brew and a cream egg. Get me one, Pete. Non-focused football, says Connor. That is absolutely the worst start against a team like Forest. They love to defend and counter, and we've given them a 1-0 head start. It's literally the worst thing that could happen. J Lowe, thank you very much for your super chat there. Mamma mia. They're just going to grow in confidence now as well. Tackle him. Yeah, the counter was fast. It was from our corner. Good ball by... No, it's not a good ball by... I don't know who that was. That Garnacho or... Marcus, thank you very much for your super chat. He says, in Brazil, always when a former player of the club scores against it, we call it translating, law of the X. Do you guys have a word or saying when that happens? It's annoying because it happens more than we'd like it to happen. We just call it a kick in the nuts, mate. Or I told you so. Basically, I told you so. Dorgu probably not wanting another ban, says Sam. Yeah, I'm not going in on Dorgu. I'm not going in on Garnacho. I'm not going in on Mazraoui. I'm just like... That's why I talk about a striker that's experienced. Garnacho's 20. Dorgu's 20. I think an older player, like a De Ligt, if De Ligt was next to him, he'd foul him. He'd go, I've cleared the game, and in that situation, I'm going to take the yellow card and stop the goal. But maybe a younger player is a little bit like, I want to be, more honest, I don't know. Great to start for Forest. Love your content, says Stephen. Thank you very much. If Garnacho stays out from the corner, he needs to be able to defend. Fine margins, went to ground and didn't take the man or win the ball, says Patrick. Look, I understand some people don't like what I'm saying, but we would be 0-0 if one of them had took a yellow card. It's called taking one for the team. And the game's not over. There's still a lot of time to play for. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, give us a follow. Just catching up here. Mazraoui shouldn't have done better, in my opinion, Lil. He's the last man, and he's got a player to his right. If he commits, Alanga will pass the other player in. The reason Mazraoui doesn't commit is because he's watching the other player. As soon as he steps towards Alanga, he'll slip the other player in, and then it will be a goal. And also, Mazraoui can see Garnacho and Dorgu coming back. So Mazraoui holds his position correctly, in my opinion. Carousel's not broken, it's just not going round. I will sort that out for you there. Boohooman sponsoring, 10% off with the code Goldbridge. I can hear Ricky now. I told you so, Beth. I told you about Alanga. Great start for Forest, says Stephen. Stephen, thank you very much. Corner again. It's a scary thing when the corner for Forest is actually a threat for us. Playing walking when the ball and no movement, always on our heels and a step behind, says Amar. I'd tell you what, it's got nothing to do with the goal, but I would like to see Anana's starting position when the shot is taken. Is he centre of the goal? That's all I want to know. I don't know whether anybody saw it. Oh. Header by Casemiro. Because if he's not centre of that goal, Alanga has a huge area to pass it into. Look, it's either an amazing finish by Alanga, or Onana's not in the centre of his goal. And if he's not in the centre of his goal, why is he not? So maybe it is just a great finish by Alanga. But is it just me, or are we passing really smoothly, says Monty. Ali McCoist having an orgasm over Forest's 500th counter-attack of the season. Garnacho should have brought him down, says Fat Sancho. What a name. What a name. Tyler, thanks for the follow on TikTok. Appreciate that. Good to be back, but not good to be back. 1-0 down. So bad at corners, now conceding from our own, says Matthew. Remember the red Ollie took Mark, experience, says Dean. Look, that was a long time ago. I grew up on that. It's not a professional foul. A professional foul will get you a red. It's called taking one for the team. Some of us grew up on it. Some of us don't like it. I feel that Garnacho or Dorgu should have chopped him down. He'd have got booed. The commentators would have said that's horrible. He'd have got a yellow card. He wouldn't have got a red. It's not about Donacho or Garnacho. Where were the CDMs in that transition? Anana with the diving ability of a walrus, says Jordan. Now, I think from a corner, Jordan, you can't really say where's Casemiro and Agate. From a corner, I've seen corners where Rashford stays back. It's a corner routine. Casemiro will definitely be in the box for height. So I think when it's from a corner, it's very harsh to say where's De Ligt, where's Yoro, where's Casemiro. They'll definitely be all in the box for the corner. Strong by Xerxes. Gives a corner. Good play. Timber's done his hamstring as well. They're all falling down at the moment for Arsenal. They are 0-0 against Fulham at the moment. Wolves are beating West Ham 1-0. 3 Premier League games tonight. I'm live on That's Football tomorrow. There's a few games tomorrow. Duda likes the way we move the ball. Well, maybe there's a way back in. Max Rowell, thanks for the follow. Yeah, Agate's in there for corners, look. He's never getting back. It's the same corner routine again. Look, we can't see who's on the halfway line. Dorgu. Yeah, Dorgu, Garnacho and Mazraoui are the three furthest players back. Look at that corner you can see behind Bruno. So you can't blame Casemiro and Agate, who are on the bloody Forest goal line. They're the three players that are the defensive players on the counter. And here we go again. And it's Gibbs-White again. Oh, for God's sake, not again. Awonyi's offside there, surely. I've got numbers back this time. Why did I miss watching this lot? They always make me feel hopeless, says Rizzo. No wonder my mental health was better till today, says David. We need better corner takers, says Catalan. I like the way other teams take corners. I like the way people like Declan Rice put height, dip and power on their corners, whereas ours seem to be more about just drifting it in. And I think you never get any, no one's ever going to meet it with any intent when you're drifting it in. I don't know why we do that. I'd like to see us just, putting a bit of power on the cross. I mean, Rashford's been taking corners for Villa. They're actually quite decent. There's a good whip and power to it. Forgot to pay for Dodgy Box subscriptions. I can't watch the game. What we playing like, says T. Lukey. Mate, if we weren't losing 1-0, it's not terrible. Like, we've done okay. It wouldn't be a bad start for an away game if we weren't 1-0 down. And I know that sounds like Michael Owen analysis, but like, we're not being dominated by Forest. We've just got done on the counter. Kale says, what's your ideal signing for the summer? Either a strong, tall centre-back or a winger that can take players on? None of them. My ideal summer is someone like Gyökeres or Osimhen up front, someone like Frimpong on the right, someone like Cunha in behind the striker. I'd take Edison from Atalanta as a midfielder, Costa from Porto as a goalkeeper, and a centre-back. Another good cross. Dorgu, get rid. Blake says, I think we look off it, Mark. SNS says, apart from the counter, we're looking all right. Yeah, we are moving the ball around. I mean, that's good play by United there. From our own corner box, the passing's actually good. Delo into Xerxes. This is a good move. If he gets that cross in now, oh, I tell you what, unlucky. That was good. Yeah, I tell you what, I'm gonna say from back to front, really good play. And if Dorgu finds Garnacho for a tap in there, that's one of their goals of the season. I mean, he's not going to find him because the keeper's done really well. But that was a really good bit of play. Really good from our own half. You got to take the positives. Robert McCormack says, do these crap corners count to his chances created? Thomas, thanks for the follow on TikTok. And Pieman995. Hassan's not happy with the team selection. I mean, I don't know Hassan. I don't think we have all the information, do we? I don't genuinely think Rasmus has been dropped. I think he would normally have played Bruno next to Agate and Xerxes next to Garnacho. So maybe Rasmus wasn't fit. I don't know. Maybe he is fit. I don't know. But I think it's a bit harsh to have a go because we don't really have the facts. And ultimately, we're losing because we didn't defend a counter-attack. And Cooney says we haven't got a goalkeeper either. What have we had? 20 minutes already. Ocean says we're not playing that bad. Wellbeing says we're actually playing quite decent. Look, honestly, we've just got to take the progress in, and even if the progress is we're not playing too bad, then obviously the priority for us is the Europa League. Tay Lukey says, if there's one thing that Amarin gives me, it's confidence that he'll get the team to keep their heads up and come back. Can't take that away from him. Still got faith. Long way to go. Huey, thanks for the follow on TikTok. Appreciate that. Standards are very low. Well, yeah, of course they're bloody low. Have you seen where we are in the league? We're low in the league. Of course the standards are bloody low. It's the start of April and we're in the bottom half. We're like the anchor on the Titanic. Couldn't get any bloody lower. But I tell you what, we were talking about this on the international break. You look at this United side, and do you think when you look at this United side, we need another 5 or 6 players under 22 bringing in? This is what I'm talking about. We can all have a hypothetical chat when United aren't playing games. But I look at this United side, and we do not need another 5 or 6 20-year-olds. We need 3 25 or older. Like we definitely need some ready-to-go players. And I know that's about age, but actually they could be 23, they could be 24, they could be 22, but they've got to be people that have played good football for a number of years. Like we definitely need some experience bringing into this team. We can't have more players that are, potential. We chose Garnacho over Elanga, says Ash G. Well, we didn't. We literally didn't. We chose Anthony over Elanga. We chose Rashford over Elanga. We showed Sancho. And there was more than Garnacho at the club, mate. Ben Way, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. United is so much better in my imagination, says Honk, the Trumpets. Zico, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Eric, thanks for your follow as well. Here we go. Yoro's bringing it forward. Forest deal with it quite comfortably. Put the tackle in, Bruno. Well done. Not giving a foul for that, ref. Soft. Here we go. I want to see where I can't. It's a shame they don't show you an Arna's position here. I think he is centre of goal, to be fair. But look, in my opinion, he carries the ball too far there. Who are the ready-to-go players recently signed, says Jide. Here we go again. Alanga's in again. Put a bloody tackle in. Well done, Delit. And Casemiro. Bit of experience there, yes. Put a bloody tackle in. I tell you what, Elanga against Dorgu at the moment, there's one winner. Does Nottingham remind you of Wolves back in 2020? Says Slow Sports News. I think he's done better though, hasn't he? I don't think he took Wolves into 3rd place in April, mate. But yeah, they're better than Wolves. This is the best team I've ever seen Nuno have in the Premier League. Good ball by Bruno, but this is the problem we're going to have. Moreno has scored for Arsenal. They're 1-0 up. This is the problem we're going to have. They are very good defensively, Forest. Like, very, very good. I'd say from this point, we'd do well to win this game now because they're not the sort of team that concedes 2 goals at home. Deloi's put in way more crosses. I guess he's listened to you, Mark, says Agrim. Or the manager's got it. Experience like Amrabat and Rabiot, says Keel. Elanga is our daddy, and I'm sick to my stomach about this, says Lake on the Moon. Thank you very much for that. Man of the match at the moment. Ricky will be there going, I told you so. I would not like to be watching this game with Ricky at the moment. Garnacho overruns it. Bruno, wide right. He's seen it. He's got the skills. Oh, what? Mate, are you giving them a bloody foul? Are you having a laugh? He's going to book him as well. No, he's gone for the bloody ball, mate. He kicks the ball first. Same ref as bloody Arsenal, isn't it? He is atrocious. This ref never should be refereeing Man United games again. He should never be allowed. He wins the ball. Literally kicks the ball before and then catches the player. Hello everybody. We're playing football. You can actually kick the ball and then kick the player by accident. It's not a bloody foul. Bloody idiot. I'm surprised he hasn't booked him. He's such a prat. Sensei and Mohammed on TikTok. Thanks for the follow. Braden, thanks for the 3 roses. And I don't know what that is from United Eye, but it's a princess or something. Don't know what that is. Thanks for all the follows there. Yeah, 1-0 in every game at the moment. Arsenal are 1-0 up at home. Forest are 1-0 up at home. And Wolves are 1-0 up at home. These tic-tac shin pads need to be reviewed, to Slow Sports News. And another cross by Delo, another corner. You know, I mean, look, this is problematic. You know, we're very far from being Arsenal. Like, we get lots of corners and nothing happens with them. Would you take the likes of Muani or Jonathan David, says Eureki? I mean, they have got more experience than Delap, but I don't know whether they're a massive upgrade. I mean, the 2 best people to go for are Osman or Jokeres, really. So yeah, would you take the sporting director job at Man United, says Kim? Okay. Oh, onto the bar! Delete! Oh, get in. It's not in. Casemiro on that front post again. He is a threat. And the keeper's been brave to keep it out. Oh, no, it wasn't Casemiro. It was Delo. Delo onto the Demba and then Delit. Yeah. Riaz says it's such a shame that Nuno didn't get the chance at Spurs. It's a shame for Spurs. Typical bottle jobs. It's been to Forest's benefit, hasn't it? Yoro just caught the keeper there. Forms says, honestly, these people would even say we should have kept Van der Beek if he were to score for Girona. Thank you very much. Bacco, thanks for the follow. Amarim looks sick. What, like nice clothes or actually, you know, ill? Joe Proctor says we should be 5 up by now. I think that's the only chance I think that's been half decent, mate. I don't know. You don't get 5 goals for 1. Where are the big chances we've missed then? I can't think of any. I remember that shot from Bruno and a Casemiro header over the bar, but I don't think they were definitely goals. Can we talk about how Casemiro waxed the ball when passing to someone literally in front of him, says David. Do we regret selling Alanga? No. Because it was bloody ages ago. Literally won the FA Cup last summer and he went the year before that. So, no, I mean, Alanga went 2 years ago now. I don't regret selling him. It's not like... Look, might have been a mistake, but it's a long time ago. Man of the match so far, Alanga. Man of the match for Man United? Probably Bruno, I would say. That goal did piss me off. De Ligt's played well as well, says Steve and Vasil. I find it hard. I start thinking about it in the second half. I'm not thinking about United's best player when we're losing 1-0. I mean, standards have dropped, but not for me that much. Here's Garnacho. Come on, find the pass. Find the pass. Good ball into Bruno. Shoot, Bruno. Blocked. Long way out, but here we go. Bit more time. Delo. Come back to Agate. Cross wasn't on there, mate. Garnacho, use Dorgu, use Dorgu, use Dorgu, use Dorgu, loses the ball. Agate, you should have used Dorgu there. Cross into the box. Man United remind me of Snow White, says Brian. I'd love to know why. Fat Sancho says, I wish you could sack Ricky and Beth. What, because they've got a different opinion? Lou says, I think Xerxes gets lost at number 9. He's so much better as a 10. I mean, statistically, let's have a look at the stats on the screen if you're on YouTube. Look at this. I mean, it literally is. I'm not even going to get excited about this because there might be people going, oh, look, we've had 67% possession. We've had 6 shots. They've only had 1. We've had 5 corners. They've had none. They've been doing it all season. Like, you can't say, oh, we've dominated possession, we've dominated shots. They're winning 1-0. It's not like they don't do this every week. They did it to Man City a few weeks ago. It's what they do. They're third in the league doing this. They defend well and counter. Long throw by Forest here. He only need 1 chance to score as well. Best chance of the game was theirs. Here we go, Bruno. Slip him in. I don't know why he didn't. He likes a pass off the outside of his foot. I don't know why he didn't put Xerxes in then. I think we're a little bit stuttery in the last 5 minutes with the final ball. Like Garnacho could have played Dorgu in down the wing. We need more creativity down the middle of the pitch. I do believe the system will work, but we'll probably bring Juan Mata back knowing the Glazers, says Cohen. Because they're crap, says Brian. All right. I haven't seen the new Snow White, but apparently it is crap. Nathan says, I think Dorgu's struggling hard. And just a reminder, Mark, you thought Alanga McTominay wasn't... I'm not even reading it, Rash. Sorry. I've made a New Year's resolution that anything you ever say is just a load of shit. So, sorry. My life's better not reading. You are proven troll. So I just don't read it. Might as well call it a night. No way Bruno scores 2 goals tonight, says Zakil. The Amrim chance going on again, says Sujoy. Thank you very much. Corner to Forest here. Even in the past 5 to 10 years, the Premier League has gone soft. What can we do to bring back more physicality to the beloved game? Also, final score, says Jake. I mean, Jake, if I was on That's Football, I'd have a chat with you, but physicality in the Premier League is not why Man United are struggling. Here's Garnacho down the right-hand side. Needs to pass. Gets tackled before he can pass. Forest playoff champions 3 years ago. Change of management and good transfers. Now they're third. Gives me hope that a turnaround is possible, says Matthew. Yeah, but we wouldn't... You know, you've got to be careful looking at other clubs. Right, I'll kill this one dead straight away. Forest have got an ambitious owner who wants to try and get money into the club. Chelsea have got an ambitious owner who wants to try and get money into the club. Man United have got greedy owners who don't want to put money into the club, but want us to be successful. Until that changes, stop comparing us to other clubs who were in the Championship 3 years ago, or, you know, were shit 3 years ago. We don't have what those clubs have at the top of the football club. So I always find it slightly humorous when people say, this team was shit 3 years ago, and now they're third. That gives me hope. Look at their owners. The referee is on the PFA on the piss. He's crap and more crap, says Cameron. Finn, we haven't mentioned Man City once. Finn on TikTok says you need to stop talking about Man City. We literally haven't spoken about Man City. We were talking about Nottingham Forest and Chelsea, mate. City fans just want it to be about them, don't they? Hopefully it will be in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to this court case result. Here it is. Look at Onana's position. I know. Look at him. That's a shit. That's the one. That's the camera angle I wanted. Onana is too far to the right-hand side. He should be centre of goal. He's drifted to the right. Bottom corner. Fucking hell. Onana's positioning on that goal is not good enough. He leaves the left side way too open. I suspected that. I don't think Alanga hit it as well as he could have done. I just think he put it where he needed to. The space is too big. Put it low in the bottom corner. But in that situation, as Onana, stay centre. Because if he goes to that side, you've got it covered. That side, you've got it covered. Unless he puts it right in the bottom corner. Do not move to your right, because then Alanga doesn't even put it in the bottom corner. That is so disappointing. I really didn't want to see that. He's not at fault for the goal. Garnacho or Dorgu should take him out, but it doesn't help that his positioning. I think if he's centre a goal, he might have saved that. But if he's centre a goal, Alanga might have put it in the bottom corner. I think Alanga looks and goes, he's left that open. Can't blame an arm for that. Had no chances crying. Literally just did. So, sorry. Might be just me, but Mazraoui was running away too. Stephen, Mazraoui's running away because he's got the other Forest player to deal with. He does what he's got to do. Thank you very much. Here in South Africa, our streaming service is playing the Arsenal game twice and not showing United game. Week ruined, says Liam. Well, we'll keep you updated. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner if you're on YouTube. Give us a follow on TikTok like Fellow. Any good documentaries on Man United's history, says Anil. Plenty. Can somebody give him some? Onana should have been on the 6-yard line, says Jeff. I didn't even look at that. I didn't even look at that. Is Arsenal on the TV? Oh, Aina's gone off for Forest. Another injury. Come on. They've got no Aina. They've got no Wood. That sounds good. Wood and Aina. You're only a couple of letters changed from... anyway. Hudson-Odoi. So they're 3 players down here. They played extra time on Saturday. We've got to start looking at it. We really have. Is Arsenal on TNT tonight? I didn't even have a look. I can see us still. I can see us getting back into this game. I think Forest look a bit vulnerable. Alex says Garnacho needs a kick up the arse at half time. I miss David so much. He's nostalgic, says Jeremy. He's talking about David De Gea. Cross comes in, headed away. This half has gone too quick for me. It's gone way too quick. I can't believe it's the 40th minute nearly already. Onana never dives. He flops straight down when he leaves his feet. Come on, United, says Weston. Claire Barry, thanks for the follow. Stephen on TikTok says there's no British players on the team. Another player coming off for Forest. 2 substitutions in the first half. Is that because Aina's gone off? I don't know. Don't know what that's all about. Stanley, thanks for your super chat. Dorgu. Garnacho, go wide. That's it. This is good. Move the ball. When we move the ball quicker and we don't dribble, we're better. Delo. Casemiro. Now, so much time to put the cross in, Garnacho. Doesn't, but gives it to Delo. Cross. Over the bar by... Well, not even over the bar by Dorgu. It's just a flick. Have Forest gone to a back three? Oh, look at that by Elanga. He sends Casemiro back to Brazil. Good play, Bruno. Oh, poor Joe. That was bad timing. He says, Casemiro's so good. I think you typed that before that, didn't you? Need Rasmus on, says Dimitri. Xerxes isn't a 9, but he has dropped back and won the ball 4 times. Good game from Casemiro. Still on crazy wages. 5 out of 5 Delit. Rusty. Mazraoui, says Dariel. Look, honestly, I wouldn't be too harsh on any United player. Well, you can be, player ratings. But I wouldn't be too harsh on any United player because, honestly... I watched Forest Brighton on Saturday. They're so rusty. They're so rusty. Like, after international break always kills momentum. I'm seeing progress, says Jahid. The only progress we need is in the Europa League. On channel 208 in South Africa, I'm watching, says Stanley. Leighton, thanks for the follow. The sooner we score, the sooner we've got a chance. Better passing, let's grind them down, says Fisher Prince. Someone had just said there, thanks for the rose, appreciate that. YouTube is the United stand, mate. Found it, we've been booted to the variety slot, says Liam. Somebody in the chat just said, can 3-5-2 work in the Premier League? Of course it can. Any formation can work. Any tactic can work. When Pep Guardiola came to the Premier League, people were like, can tiki-taka Barca style work in the Premier League? Of course it can. Might take time. I mean, as I've said so many times, if you're analysing the 3-5-2, at least let Amorim get his own players. Like, he's trying to do a system with Ten Hag's players. Like, you've got to give him players. Ericsson warming up, Rasmus warming up, Collier warming up. Rasmus on for Garnacho, says Henry. Probably, yeah, I wouldn't take Xerxes or Bruno off. Unless you take Casemiro off. Might drop Bruno deeper. Be Casemiro or Garnacho, won't it? And also, Casemiro's probably not going to be able to play 90 minutes at this intensity, so... I agree with Travis. He says, look, we've played well. We just need to up the tempo, especially as Forest lost a few players a moment ago. They don't concede many goals. So you're right. We've got to up the tempo. We've got to take more risks. Mount on, says Fahad. Lost X and Dade, thanks for your roses. And Love Kush, thank you very much. So we've got, what, a minute to go to half time. Patrick Lynch has missed the first half. How have you played? I think that... mate, we're losing 1-0. I don't think... I'll leave it for half time, but look. Some people, what I'm trying to say, Patrick, is some people are happy that we've actually passed the ball okay, but fundamentally, we're losing 1-0. So, you know, Delete here, I'm just a bit worried about. Ahmad would be brilliant in this game with his pace, says Jahid. Would he though? Or would he just be not getting enough of the ball and being, you know, marked out of the game? Six minutes added on. Fucking hell, I thought that was going in. Why? What happened for 6 minutes? Yates making Bruno lose his head. That ain't good, says Stephen. What's happened for 6 minutes? Did someone... What happened for 6 minutes? South African people are lucky they can't see this, says Robert McCormack. Talk to us, Robert. What's the problem? I mean, I'm thinking about it. There's not really a goal threat again. I mean, Xerxes, if we're being completely honest, Xerxes is not getting any service at all. He hasn't had one chance. And everything that we've done has come from long shots or set pieces. There's nothing from open play at all. We can't beat their low block. We're winning corners from shots, basically, that are from distance. And it's the same old story. It's too slow. I was at Baller League yesterday, and some team, you move it slow. And, I mean, what's that by Casemiro? It's just it's a long, lofted ball. Milinkovic and Murillo will destroy Xerxes in the air. And that's not me having a go at him. They'll destroy Haaland in the air. They're just too good. Did you use wooden screws to nail the set back to the wall? They're good for that, says Jimmy Anderson. I got some screws with it. I just didn't put them in. That's why it fell over. Evan Day wants to pull Garnacho off. Hey, what you want to do in your spare time's up to you, mate. But do you want to sub him? Bruno's positioning and... Here we go. Go on, Garnacho. No, terrible first touch. Heavy first touch. He's had a heavy first touch all game, Garnacho. He's over. That's why he got that foul as well. Which wasn't a foul, but it was a heavy first touch. Bruno's positioning and general play is really bad for the amount of praise he gets, says Cry. Forest on the attack here. Good tackle, Dorgu. Mazraoui will go back keeper. We're not switching to a back four, Diego. You don't understand Amrim. Have to put Rasmus on. We're so slow up front, says Nevsky. I would, yeah, we'll mention that in a minute. We're playing in front of Forest. We need to be more incisive, says Emily. Casemiro off, Hoyland on, Bruno in centre midfield. A1RO, for me, let's do a poll on this. Who would you take off? Because it's one or the other. Who would you take off? Garnacho or Casemiro? Now, you can take Garnacho off and you can keep Bruno as a 10 and put Rasmus up front, or you can take Casemiro off, put Bruno next to Ugarte, keep Garnacho on but put Xerxes there. I probably would take Casemiro off because we need to score. I don't see the point. You know, Bruno going into the midfield makes us more attacking. Keeping Casemiro on with Ugarte keeps us still defensive. We're 1-0 down. I think we've got to take a risk. I don't see a problem with taking Garnacho off, but I would take Casemiro off, really. Put Bruno in the midfield. Also, the advantage of that is that Bruno's been playing well in the midfield. Xerxes been playing well as a 10. Here is Garnacho. Pass to Bruno. Yeah, Bruno is going to go to Dorgu. Well done. Back to Bruno. Edge right. Casemiro. Oh, I thought it was going to hit the back of the net. You know, I always, with those sort of shots, you can't tell from the camera where it's going. So I always look at the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper was sort of a bit like, I'd love to see it from behind. But again, it's a long shot, isn't it? I mean, this is edge of the box. It's not even edge of the box. Oh, mate, it's fucking nowhere near. It's fucking nowhere near. I thought it was close. Garnacho plays so much better on the left, says Jamie. Now that we have the technology to easily show the referee's watch, why not show the official game time, says Patrick. That is half time. Right, let's have a sit down. Thoughts on the game. Thoughts on the game then, everybody. Give us your thoughts. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner if you're on YouTube, and give us a follow if you're on TikTok as well. Thoughts on that half. Generally, I have to be honest and say it's not good enough. I get what people say about passing the ball. Yeah, we are passing the ball better, but we're losing 1-0. We haven't done enough to equalise. We've had more possession. That's got to be, in some way, shape or form, a criticism. Like, we're not... yeah, we're not... Sorry, I've just got to send this message. Yeah, it's... I think we've lost a lot of games this season, and whilst we've moved the ball better, we're not creating chances. So I agree with people who say, look, if Garnacho or Dorgu fouls Elanga, it's 0-0 at half-time, innit? Let's be clear. You know, if Onana's maybe more central to the goal, it might be still 0-0. So there's a mistake defensively in numerous areas on the counter. But Forest are very good at a counter. So 1-0, it's a fine line. And we have moved the ball quite well. And we have passed the ball quite well. But Xerxes is not in the game through no fault of his own. When we've got him on the ball, he's looked okay. But as a striker, zero threat. If I was Rasmus, I'd be sat on the touchline going, actually, he's probably better being on the bench here. So Xerxes as a striker is getting no service. Garnacho's been disappointing. Bruno, I think, hasn't got the mobility for the number 10 role to support the attack. So he's dropping in. I can see why we're not creating chances. Xerxes isolated. Garnacho's not having a good game. Bruno's more part of the midfield than a number 10. And, you know, Delo and Dorgu, even if they put a good cross in, there's not that many options in there. So I think we've got to make changes, and we need to get more support to Xerxes. So I would be looking at Mason Mount on, maybe, for Bruno, and for Casemiro, and drop Bruno back. Or Rasmus on, drop Xerxes back, drop Bruno back, Casemiro off. Or you could take Casemiro off and take Garnacho off, keep Casemiro on, play Bruno and Xerxes, but there's no pace there. So I think for me, it's got to be Bruno deeper, Casemiro off, and Rasmus on, Xerxes drops back. You could still take Garnacho off a Mount, but, you know, we've got to be more... We've got to create chances. Like, we can't... I'll be honest, like, Forest will be sat there going, this is easy. We don't mind corners and we don't mind shots from distance, because if they score a goal from distance, it's going to be a worldie. Do they look like they're going to do that? Really? Mark, I think we should cash in for Bruno if we get 90 million, says Glazers Out. Watching United just hurts now, says Ron United. It's like an addiction. You watch it even when they disappoint you. Thankful to this community, says Ron. Thank you. Michael Gibbs says, let's get Mount on for Garnacho. He's completely useless. Bruno over to the right. Paul O'Brien says, I think we have been much better with possession, but we have to do something with that possession. Shows the need for a senior striker. And Garnacho can't even take on a player 1v1 anymore. Lost all skills. I don't get it, says Chris. Casemiro, we need goals. Xerxes into strikers is A1R0. They're allowing us to put crosses in as we don't have a great aerial threat. We need more of those low-driven crosses like Dorgu, says Niall. Garnacho plays so much better off the left. Yeah, I think it's. I think. Look, we've spoken a lot about this on the international break about why Sir Jim Radcliffe's constant PR of we need to buy young players. We need to buy 20-year-olds. We want to buy loads of young players. And I look at that game, and whilst there's not many young players on the pitch, I don't look at it and go, I do want more 20-year-olds. I don't. I want fucking experience. Like, we're crying out for experience. Like, we desperately need it. And you saw that on the pitch with the first goal. Like, Garnacho's 20, Dorgu's 20. Have they got the experience and know-how to take Elanga out and take a yellow card for a free kick on the edge of the box? That should have happened. Maybe they could. Maybe one of them should have made a tackle anyway and not given a foul, but definitely take him down. And some people won't like that. I grew up with it. That's what you do. You know, there's the Vidiches of this world, the Solskjaers even. You take him out. You take him out, and it's 0-0. And especially it will have been drilled into these players this week. You are playing a team that wins games on clean sheets and one goal. They can win games on that. They did it against Man City a couple of weeks ago. So we can't afford to give them goals. And we gave them a goal. So that's inexperience for me. I guarantee you, if that was De Ligt or Agate, they'd have took the yellow card. And that's why this team needs a little bit more experience for me. Agate off instead of Casemiro. You could do that, Matt. Agate doesn't have the long balls like Casemiro, and we have most of the ball. Yeah, you could do that. I mean, actually, to be fair, do we risk De Ligt? Maybe not risk for Europa, says Michael. And South Africa is back, says Carl. Thank you very much. Garnacho for Mount. Amrim speaks highly of him, says Pedge. Final third, we look shaky. We played better than them on the ball, says Andres. Well, this is what one of my mates messaged me, and he said, you can have all the possession you want. It's a good, tactical, boring plan from Forest, but it's effective against your shit. At the end of the game, it's 3 points, isn't it? That's what you're playing for. Xerxes has supplied Garnacho more than the other way round. The closeness in the vote showcases how badly Garnacho has been. Oh, yeah, we had a little bit of a vote going on. Who would you take off? It's locked on 50-50. Fair play. This is what community is driven by. Democracy, and you would take... Well, you're locked on either. What would I do? I'd take Casemiro off because he's going to get tired, and you're going to have to make that sub at some point. And also, we need to score goals. So I have to get attacking players close to my striker. So I would take Casemiro off, put Bruno next to Agate, put Rasmus up front, and drop Xerxes next to Garnacho. I hate the way Forest play, the archaic counter-attacking football, what we did under Ollie. I got confidence we can beat them, says Lee Cape Town. And Kays says, I'd take Casemiro off, get Mount on, hope to change the game. Bruno too slow for the number 10. Look, I don't like the Bruno criticism. By the way, if you want to do player ratings, when that goes round, or go through the link in the description, get yourself registered for that, because we'll be doing that in the match reaction. And Andre says, this game proves Xerxes is a 10. He's always too far back and doesn't make the runs. Forest win games by doing the basics well, says Robert McCormack. And Mystery Man says, Garnacho has been awful. Tempo has been slow. We don't move the ball quick enough to break down the low block. Same problem all season. Not just this season, mate. It's been going on for years. We've been shit against the low block for years. Years and years. But, yeah, going back to the Bruno thing, thanks for the roses as well, Abdus. I think going back to the Bruno thing, a lot of the criticism is a bit unfair. He's been a good player for us recently. And I was surprised to see him play today where he is playing, because we've literally been talking about this. I mentioned it on the morning show. I think I don't think Amrin wants to use Bruno as a 10 because of the mobility. I think he wants to play him in the midfield. And then our first game back after the international break, having said that, he puts him into the number 10 position. He hasn't got the mobility for that role, traditionally speaking, in relation to how he normally does it at Sporting. So I'd like to see him play a little bit deeper and dictate the play a little bit, because people are talking about the long balls from Casemiro, but you'll get that from Bruno if you drop him back there. Nottingham Forest are the legitimate Man City, says Tom Best. Manny says, Bruno isn't as slow as people think, but he's not a number 10, he's a pure 8. Why is he not in the middle? Thank you very much, Manny. Kaiser says, do you like the Smiths? There is a light and it never goes out. Yes, I do. An honour to striker. It'll be in the back of the net, says Navu. Thank you very much for that. And with the owners we have, who are we ready to sell? Anyone for cash must have told Amram to say Bruno won't leave so that Madrid pay more than 90 million, says Shiam. I hope the Lit's all right. We've been the better team. They don't look like scoring, says Armin. No end product, says Azam. We're always shaking the final third. Nothing new there, says Gating. Mark, I like Agate, but he doesn't offer enough on the ball, says Jason. And Adnan says, we passed the ball well. Forest are a good side who will sit in a shape, missing the killer pass and striker movement. I tell you what, though, it's going to become very, very difficult to break a team down like them who are literally going to sit in and counter. It will be difficult to do it. Evening, Mark. Thank you very much. Sir Mocky, thanks for the follow on TikTok, and Mick as well. Please do give us a follow if you're on there, and also subscribe if you're on YouTube, and share the video. Thanks, everyone, for getting involved. Can Forest turn this around in the second half? Well, we're about to find out. What I will say is that we really can't be staring into another defeat here. Excuse me, I don't know what I'm sneezing at. This time of night for. What's that all about? Don't really want to be showing you this. Don't get worried. Don't really want to be showing you this, but this is what it looks like for Manchester United at the moment. It don't look good, Brev. We're 13th in the league, but all those teams, Tottenham, Everton, could catch us up. We want to be moving up the league, not down it. And that's the reality of where United are at the moment. It's not where we want to be, is it? Statistically, look, I don't really pay a massive amount of attention to it because Forest are known for sitting in and counter-attacking, so they're not going to have lots of shots. They're not going to have lots of possession. They're hard to score against. But another observation as well is that we've got some really difficult games coming up. Obviously, the Europa League is the priority, but let's not forget, we've got to play Man City, Manchester Derby, then we've got Newcastle away, we've got to go to Bournemouth, we've got to go to Brentford, we've got to go to Chelsea, we've got to play Villa. So we've got games where we could get beat 4 or 5 times before the end of the season. So after an international break, when they've played on Saturday and gone to penalties, I expect us to create some chances in the second half. I don't think it's acceptable to lose this game 1-0. Now, is that putting a bit of pressure on the team? Well, no, because they can't hear it. But as a fan, I think we've got an expectation with the games to come and the importance of the Europa League. We've got to start turning up a little bit more. Yeah, we've moved the ball around, but we're 1-0 down at half time. They're going to sit back. It's almost a training session. Can you break a low block when you've had more of the ball and you're 1-0 down? Because we shouldn't be losing this game of football. We shouldn't be losing games of football where teams are going to sit back and counter. We've got to be better. Give them a moment. Oh, two, see what you can do. Give them a moment, for pity's sake. Oh, two, see what you can do. Give them a moment, for pity's sake. Trying to do a bit of Sean Bean there. Need a tissue. Oh, my nose is running. Oh, I don't want a bloody cold in spring. Every year. You know what it is? Pollen. Don't worry, it's not an Austrian player. Yeah, I get hay fever and then it turns into a bloody cold every bloody April. We need Ahmad back badly. He's our killer, says Nabu. We know what Forest are going to do second half, says Matthew. The issue is we don't know what we will do. It's on no one but us, says Matthew. Give them a moment, for pity's sake. Ship Anana to Saudi first class. Get Garnacho off and Rasmus on, says Aldo. Garnacho is an impersonator, says Kyle. I could be wrong, but Garnacho doesn't seem to rate Dorgu. He's still ignoring him, says Rahul. Maybe that's why he's moved to the right. Possession football is useless without creativity, says Red Army. It really is. And Johnny says, Garnacho's not been good so far. Passing is good. Good play, but we're not threatening enough. Bruno needs to keep his head. He is losing it a bit, says Johnny. And David says, Garnacho's not even very fast. He got caught up on the last counter-attack. I still don't see what you will see in him. Not even potential. I do like Garnacho, but he's off it today. The biggest issue I've got with Garnacho today, and I've really noticed it, is that he's losing the ball. His first touch isn't very good. He's overrunning it and losing the ball. There are no forward runs in the final third, says Matta. Just 10 people waiting for a cutback. But do you not think 51% of you have gone with taking Casemiro off and 49% of you have gone with Garnacho? So close, but it's ended with Casemiro. But do you not think, again, this comes down to experience? You've got Xerxes, who's not really a number 9. You've got Bruno, who doesn't really fit the system as a 10. And you've got Garnacho, who is obviously inexperienced. We're 1-0 down against a very good defence, and it just seems like nothing's going to change. Now, if you had a Cunha or a Gyökeres or an Osman, you'd just feel a little bit more confident, wouldn't you? Psychologically, you would. And maybe that changes on the pitch. Rasmus coming on. Hopefully he can make a difference, but he can't make a difference without service. There was no service for Xerxes, so if he's just going to run around a lot, it's not going to make any difference. Agate off. Shout out to the guy who said that. Agate off at half-time. There you go. Somebody said that in the chat. Jonas, thanks for the follow. The counter-attack we got... Hold on a minute. Let me get the clock ready here. I'll read your super chat in a minute. 1 inch wonder. There we go. We're up and running. Thank you very much. Elvin says, hope we win so the guy on TikTok can cut his hair, says Elvin. Is there a buyback clause for Elanga, says Azam. I don't know, you know. The counter-attack we got caught on was schoolboy stuff. Slow team, nobody back, relying on non-existent pace to get back in time. Complete rubbish, says 1 inch wonder. And thank you very much for that. And Arnold does not fill me with any confidence, says Hamlet Games. No, not at all. Not at all. Look, if Sir Jim Radcliffe does his job, Amrin wants to replace Onana. I mean, he should have as much of a future as a snowman in July, but I don't know. It depends whether they've got the money. Netflix and Chilwell says, looking for the positives, I'm liking to see Amorim making us look more fluid at times. 9, 10 and 8, we would be more successful in transition. Well, Bruno's going to play a little bit deeper now. Corner to United here. Odin says, sign Kurt Zuma. He might kick all the pussies out of the club. Nadim's just got home. Alkino says, lots of love from Cape Town on TikTok. Thanks, pal. Right, another corner here. The worrying thing about a corner for Forest is it might be an attack for them if we get it wrong. I don't need to stand up again. Got to stand up. Got to stand up for the match. Go on! Tell you what, we keep. To be fair, that's the third corner where we've won it on the front post. But there's no... I've got to be honest, right? Some people will be getting very excited the fact that we've won corners on the front post. They're ridiculously hard to score from. Do you want to know why? Because you're angling your head back that way and the keeper is on his front post. So he can go left, he can go right. They're really hard to score, those corners. And they're going to get a corner here, Forest. Fucking hell. Our young players up front are too individualistic and play more for themselves than the team, says Dean. They need to put the team first and play the passes and let the individual performances come naturally. Thank you, Dean. Namzik, thank you. Welcome to Members Club. Would you rather crap yourself every month in public or every day in private, says Carter? Mate, this is the football channel. Leave that to Goldbridge IRL. Young players will have bad games. You shouldn't sensationalise it, says Nate. Oh, 100%. 100%. Doesn't mean we can't say it's the reason they've scored, though. But, yeah, I mean, I mean, yeah, I would. I'd sign a keeper ASAP, says Adnan. Mason Kelly, thanks for the follow. And Michael on TikTok. Right, here's Forest with a corner. Headed away by De Ligt. Mark Lawton says, I had to double check this. Oh, no. Oh, good save, Onana. Bloody good save. Clap that like a seal. He did make a good save there. Big save by Onana. That would have been game over because we ain't coming back from 2-0 down. He'd have been offside anyway. It's bloody miles off. Miles offside. I mean, to be fair, it's not. It is quite close to him, but it's still a good save. Would you bring Kone on? Says Lee. It's a difficult game. It's a difficult one. Lee Mack says it was straight at him. Would have been offside anyway. Xerxes. Oh no, he's laid it off to them. Casemiro, yellow card. He's not happy about it. Casemiro's very angry now. I didn't see it. Should United sign BT from Donegal? I don't really know what Casemiro's angry about. I mean, he is late. Might not be a yellow card, to be fair. Very angry about getting that yellow. I mean, it was a foul. I mean, I don't know whether it's a yellow card, but I think he's trying to say it wasn't a foul, but it was a foul. Should you, Mark, would you bring Kone done that? Had to double check this. Shaw's record since United is 329 games missed and 193 appearances. I didn't think it was that bad, Mark. Casemiro's on a thin ice now. To be honest, I didn't talk about it at half-time, but a lot of people were saying that United have been quite indisciplined. We don't need another red. Oh, Garnacho. Bloody hell. You can't be lazy with the ball there. Gibbs White shoots over the bar. Can't be doing that there. There's simple passes on. He passes it to a Forest player and they end up with a good chance. G-Man says Casemiro's going to get sent off. Frogman says, has this been recorded? Is this pre-recorded? No. Leon, thanks for the follow on TikTok. Gugas says, sorry, AJ says we need to put Binder in goal. Would you rather every single time you got into a car you had to fight a chicken to death, or once a year have to fight an orangutan with a sword, says Matthew Tosland. I mean, Tosser. Come on, mate. I'm trying to watch the bloody football. JFB says, if it's pre-recorded, can you tell me the final score so I can go to bed? Look, I honestly don't think Rasmus is going to make any difference if we don't get the ball to him. Although that's a good link-up play. And Bruno just needed to get it in front of Dorgu there, but he still got it. Oh, terrible ball. Some sloppy passes by the young lads here. Now it's Alanga. I'm not saying on a stream I'd take an orangutan with a sword or kill a chicken every day. I've had the RSPCA before. I don't want to beat a polar bear up. It was a hypothetical. Yellowstone's very good, Creepy. And 1883 and 1923. Dan, thanks for the follow on TikTok. And Joe and Peter. I tell you what, if they score another one, it's game over. That's not a foul. That is not a foul. Play on. Garnacho, 93 senior games. Is that inexperience, as Robert? It's 20 years of age, mate. Yates has consistently dived and over-exaggerated all match. Has to be 8 times now, says Alec. And Sean says, take Garnacho off. He's been terrible. Mate, I'd be very surprised if he isn't thinking about that. But the only option is probably Mason Mount. I can't think of another number 10 on the bench. I mean, I don't want Eriksen doing that. Bruno, Casemiro. That's it. Garnacho, drive. And gets it to Dorgu. Now overlap for him. Why didn't you overlap for him? Oh, for God's sake. Overlap for him. I tell you what, Dorgu and Garnacho tonight, passing is not with it. They're not working well together. When we don't have left foot centre-back, the wide centre-back switch at half-time, says Matthew. Well, the story of the first 10 minutes here has been the inability to play the right pass. Tom says Beattie at Donegal or Bastin from Desborough Reserves. I don't know what you're talking about, Tom. Let it go. Been a week, but adolescence is still stuck in my head, says Ardish. Overrated. Mason Mount, the rescue mark. Could it be time, says WG. The problem is if you bring Mason Mount on and he lasts 5 minutes. I think Dorgu's had an off game, but you're gonna get that. I don't even know why. Obviously you're going to get your morons on social media saying Dorgu's a load of shit, we shouldn't have bought him, because that's just how stupid some fans are these days. I would say what was said at half-time and what we've said for ages. With new signings and young players, they will have good games, they will have bad games. It is natural, and this is something that Sir Jim Radcliffe doesn't fucking realise. Stop talking about buying potential, because potential will have bad games. It's the whole problem with buying young players. They will have bad games, and we will lose games because of it. Saka's scored for Arsenal, and he's back. Casemiro's getting sent off. See you later. That could be it. They're trying to get him sent off. Is Casemiro diving to avoid the yellow? This could be it. I have to have a look at it. No, I don't think that's a yellow. I think he's just... No, I don't think it is a yellow. I think he's caught Casemiro. I don't think that is a yellow. Play on. Mark, will you call my mate Joel a prat? He's dragged me out to the pub so we can have pizza, says Reese. Sounds like a legend to me. I'd love a pint and pizza right now. At least it's Hull v Hull on Saturday up the Robin, says Richard. Dig in, says Dazzler. Why is Garnacho trash tonight, says Brian. And Dylan says, could you shout out my football team, Ballybot Celtic from Ireland? Also, Mark, do you think Amrim has the ability to win as a serious competition? Yeah, of course I do. Look, it's all or nothing for the Europa League, isn't it? We are playing a team that's third in the Premier League. They were the favourites to win it. Brazzers watch along, says Carter. Don't know what it is. Yeah, Arsenal are 2-0 up against Fulham. Wolves are 1-0 up against West Ham. Delo. Casemiro. Dorgu. Garnacho. Don't shoot. Wasn't bad, but I don't think the shot was really on. You can't blame him for shooting, to be fair, but, I mean, he is only going to shoot anyway, isn't he? Even if you do blame him, he was only ever going to shoot. Ericsson. For Casemiro. So our midfield pivot is Ericsson and Bruno. Interesting. It's either genius or a problem in the making. Should have been Collier. Should have been Collier, you know. Ericsson played well against Portugal. Yeah, last time I checked, Denmark want Man United and international football wasn't the Premier League. Daniel said his brother Sammy sat on a cat. Michael says, all rise to the mighty Goldbridge. You're just going to piss off the trolls. Thank you very much. Look, it'll either be genius or stupidity. I mean, look, honestly, I would say Ericsson and Bruno as a holding midfield pair sounds like a bloody nightmare defensively. But look, we haven't created a chance for Xerxes in the first half up front, and we haven't created a chance for Rasmus in the second half. We've got to create chances. As I said, there's every chance that this will finish, we won't score and they'll win. Some good news, passed my driving test today, says Cyber Spider. Well done. I'm now officially a professional driver of 500,000 plus vehicles. Buses, but I prefer first. Well done, Cyber. I don't know, Garnacho never learns. He's a good player, says Robert. A lot of talent, but man, he does the same thing every single game. Surely you agree, Mark. He's not had a good game today. Remember this is a Forest side with no Chris Wood, Aina went off, and no Hudson-Odoi. And they played until penalties on Saturday. It's not good enough. It's not been good enough from United. Who has a higher ceiling than Garnacho or Elanga? That's a foul. See, that's a yellow card. That should be a yellow card. Don't think he gave it. Nice to see people saying congratulations to Cyber Spider. Well done for passing your driving test. Should be looking at the Kuiper from Bruges. He's a left wing back, says Owen Park. And Michael JW has just gifted a membership. Thank you very much, Michael. Would have been a great game to have Lissandro, says Gerard. It'd be a great game to have Ahmad, as people mentioned. Bill Parnell's not happy with Forest players, says they're a right set of pussies. Chris Divell says Yates is Forest's version of Robbie Savage. Still half an hour to go in this game. Dorgu. Too weak. I mean, this 3 points. I don't know why I'm talking about 3 points. We're losing 1-0 here. We've been that bad again. We are a bit toothless up top. Ball won't stick. Wrong decision making. Also, watch Kanye West's new interview, says David Miller. Okay. Michael JW's just gifted 5 memberships as well. You're a legend, mate. Thank you very much. Nottingham Forest have only conceded 10 goals in the Premier League at home this season. They've got the best record in the league. That's not looking good then, is it? Didn't need to see that. Xerxes absolutely crap tonight, says Wolfwall. He was all right in the first half. He's not got in the game in the second half, but Garnacho's been no better. Let's not tell lies. Left side's very inexperienced, says Jahid. To be honest, we look absolutely shit. Let's call it how it is. We've been absolutely shit. Is Rasmus down the wing, though? That's not going to be a shot, is it? Another corner, which we won't score from. Yeah, I agree. I think Delit's been good, but, you know, your centre-back being good's not going to score your goals unless he scores from a corner, isn't it? You know, I think as an attacking side, creativity has been bloody awful tonight. Mystery Man says, I'd give Dorgu 1 out of 10. Ericsson easily cleared. Bruno's going to go back to Anana. Joe says we deserve a draw at least. We deserve a draw based on possession, but that doesn't, you know, we're not bloody, it's not pet ball, mate. We don't deserve a draw on chances created. Where was the equaliser then that we missed? We haven't created a chance that's worthy of a draw. We've not missed a sitter. I don't think we do deserve a draw. I think we should be drawing based on how much of the ball we've had, but I don't agree that we deserve a draw based on chances created. It's not been good enough. Yellow card for Garnacho. I think he kicked the ball away. Hi, Mark. My son was born last night and I named him Mark, says Wesley. There we go. Legend. Congratulations, by the way, to you and your partner. Manchester Derby at the weekend. We'll win that. We'll turn up for that. They'll all be revved up all week, excited. That's the sort of game we win. Get Maguire on for the equaliser, says Red Army. 65 bloody minutes, eh? Absolutely terrible. Terrible, I tell thee. It's got to be worth trying Mount. Well, look, there's 2 reasons to give Mason Mount a try. Because Garnacho and Xerxes can't get in the game in the second half. So it's got to be worth it, hasn't it? It's got to be worth it. You can't say he's fit and then not bloody use him. Foul on Rasmus. Give him a chance. Right, here's Garnacho. Into Bruno, into Xerxes. Yep. Oh. That's a better pass. Delo. Put the cross in. Oh, a bit unlucky. Dorgu should have controlled it. Forest are going to clear that now. That's the end of that. Forget it. That's that chance gone. Bloody hell, that's a foul on Dorgu, surely. How's that not a foul? Elanga, past Ericsson, past Bruno. That's our entire midfield. Goes wide. No. Thing is, though, they look so much better than us on the attack, and they're hardly attacking. Get rid of it, Ericsson. Come on, Bruno. Here's Garnacho. You got to take him on yourself, mate. Take him on yourself. Oh. Just got a deflection for a corner. Constantine says the referee's been hitting the pipe, Mark. I mean, it's a good breakaway here. That's probably the best chance of the game to score for us. It's a bit like Alanga, isn't it? Right, he's got it. It's a good touch. Yeah, it's good defending. That's probably the best chance of the game, really. Wish I'd played PS5 over watching this tripe, says Kevin. Never ever I sat watching Man United in 50 years and thought we're not even going to come close to equalising, says Tony Cox. And Garnacho shoots wide. I'll bite your hand off for 60 million for Garnacho, says Corey. And Callum says, passing it on the edge of the box, never pinging a ball and causing chaos. They never learn. Ruben tells them to get it in the box, surely, says Callum. New signings have been poor today. Agate, Dorgu and Xerxes. We're in desperate need of the summer window, says Robert. We can have the ball, but we don't do anything with it, says Brian Dale. We've been shocking, says Mr. Mortimer. Look, what I will say is, and I saw this at the weekend, is that the international break, I don't like them, and it absolutely kills teams' momentum. We've looked like a bunch of strangers. I actually thought it would be advantageous that Forest played on Saturday and we didn't, but they look more organised than us, maybe because they played on Saturday, but we played bloody dreadful, really. We've looked like a bunch of strangers. We don't look anything like the team from before the break. Sean says it's been an awful season, but with such a specific system, we can't judge Amorim too harsh until he gets his players in. MT90, we seriously need to get our arses into gear for these Europa League games. Attack has been non-existent. Lackadaisical performance. Roll says Dorgu useless. Wesley's gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much. And A1 and Rowe says, why did we sell Alanga? I'll never know. Come on, move this ball. 20 minutes to go. Ricky's already got his I was right about Alanga t-shirt on, says Mozzo. That's a foul on Garnacho. Yellow card. In desperate need of a pre-season and a strong window, says Matthew. We can't give up on the Europa League. We're in desperate need of winning the Europa League, whether you like it or not, because we won't have any bloody money. SVW, thanks for the follow on TikTok. And GTY, thanks for giving us a follow as well. Appreciate that. Any other season we could have been relegated, considering the games coming up as well. Kind of scary if you ask me, says Chris. I was having this chat the other day with somebody. I said, Wolves, Man United, Spurs really deserve to be in a relegation battle. And the only reason we're not in one is because relegation doesn't exist anymore, does it? Because of how crap teams are coming up. Bruno with the chance to whip a cross in. I don't fancy us scoring one of these. Not against this defence. They're too experienced on the cross. Can't take it anymore. Sell Garnacho, says Andres. Look, I would say calm down a little bit, right? Before the international break, people were getting a little bit excited. We're still in the Europa League, and it's our first game after 2.5 weeks off. And we look like we haven't played for 2.5 weeks. It has been shit. People do deserve low player ratings, but I wouldn't be selling people or anything like that on the 1st of April when we're going to have to use these players for the next 2 months. I'm honestly tired of the Xerxes hate from fans. It's not been his best game, but he's quality and reminds me of how Berbatov played with his control, says Ethan. I mean, I don't know what the hate's all about, mate. I haven't seen it, but I wouldn't be really understanding it. I think we've been worse, but dropped off in the second half. Still nowhere near good enough, says Jack. Garnacho could use shot practice, fine-tune his aims, his pain. Here he is, getting a lot of space here, Garnacho. Use Dorgu. No! Fucking no! Stop it. It's not a bloody training ground game. What is he doing? Stop fucking shooting, mate. Dorgu's making that overlap run there. It's too... I tell you what, it's been going on for years. It's too bloody selfish. We're 1-0 down in a competitive game. You can't keep shooting. They're not good chances. You're on the edge of the box, mate. Work a better opportunity. Anthony says, I work for Yeovil Town, and after the off-field issues involving our club, I tuned in to see how United were doing, and oh no again, my Prem team completing the misery. A big up to Yeovil staff, says Anthony. Thank you very much. What's going on with Yeovil then? I didn't know. Kenzo says, sit down, Mark. No, they'll score. Just on the player ratings, by the way, we've got a register system for our player ratings now. All you've got to do is scan the QR code or go through the link in the description. You'll get an email, just click register, and then you can do your player ratings, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I think they're going to be very interesting tonight. Very interesting. And there's 1 or 2 players that I think have done okay. There's a lot of players that haven't. Garnacho is selfish. He just doesn't pass, says Andre. That's inexperience, mate. That is inexperience. In a game like this, you've got to have experience. You know, you've got to keep looking for the... You watch someone like Man City against Bournemouth at the weekend. They kept looking for the big opportunity to score a goal. They didn't start shooting from 30 yards. You've got to start... You play the extra pass to work the better opportunity, but no one does that. As I said, Xerxes, no chances in the first half. Rasmus, no chances in the second half. Garnacho plays for himself and not the team, says Rotisserie. Or he could take a breath before making decisions, says Payne. Agate had a poor game. Haters on X got on his head. I don't even understand what that was all about. Daz either. Matthew says, does experience around Garnacho humble him? Good cross by Bruno. Dorgu's header was straight at the keeper. Does experience around Garnacho humble him and make him play less selfish, says Matthew? Somebody should be telling him not to shoot like that. I mean, Bruno should tell him. He should say, stop fucking shooting. Imagine if... I mean, look, I hate saying this myself, but can you imagine, would Garnacho be allowed to keep shooting like that if Roy Keane was on the pitch? Would he fucking bollocks? Gibbs White. Oh, where's the defence? He wanted a penalty. He's not giving it. Garnacho off for Collier or any other defensive midfielder we have. Get him next to Bruno and put Ericsson next to Xerxes, says Jackie. Look, Mason Mount was on the bench against Leicester 2 weeks ago. He's on the bench again. Like, is he there as a bloody mascot? Get him on. You're either fit or you're not. If he's not fit, why was he on the bench against Leicester 2 weeks ago? Get him on. Is he on the bench and we can't actually use him? I don't get it. Get him on. I'd understand it if it was his first game, but he was on the bench 2.5 weeks ago. Is it too early to write next season off considering Amorim is unlikely to get the backing he needs in the summer, says Fred? We'll struggle next season if we're going to buy young players again, because it'll be the same old thing. Dorgu will end up being a good player, but he's going to have bad games and good games, isn't he? Dorgu. Foul by Ericsson. Yellow card for Ericsson. Mason Mount for Xerxes. Could have took Garnacho off. That won't please people. Look, let's pray for Mount. We don't want him getting injured. We're talking about selling players that don't suit the system, yet Ineos haven't backed Amorim and gave him a short contract. Plan doesn't make sense, says Nate. Also, what's the point of Garnacho? He's the same player Rashford was, and I'm sick of it, says Tusha. We're okay to sell our second best player before the most wasteful player in the team. I don't get it. I'd sell Bruno, but not before some players, says David. Is it too early? I've done that one from Fred. Thank you very much for that. 12 minutes to go. I saw someone on Twitter saying that Mason Mount's going to score in the 82nd minute. Arsenal are drawing? They were 2-0 up. (2-1). I don't think they've conceded an equaliser. Garnacho, Dorgu. Overhit. These crosses have got too much air in them and not enough pace. That's good by Mount. No, that wasn't Mount. Oh, that was Mount. Good effort. Didn't injure himself. Bonus. It was a good effort from there. Sells has got it covered though, hasn't he? Who's the stranger with the number 7 shirt for United? Oh yeah, the number 7 shirt's on the pitch for one of the first times. It's 1-0 to Forest at the moment. We've got about 10 minutes left. All roads lead to Southgate, says Keel. Jahid's really excited that Mount's making his debut. You know, I'm just looking at this actually. Again, there's a way of interpreting this and there's a way of not interpreting it. We've had 67% possession. We've had 19 shots to their 5. And we've had 5 shots on target to their 2. It's deceptive though, because every shot we've had has pretty much been from the edge of the box. I can't think of a good chance in the box. So, Forest have had us sort of like that. We're throwing punches and they're holding the hand on our forehead and we're just not hitting. So, there will be people going, oh, so unlucky, we've dominated them. But if you watch the game, we haven't actually created good chances. Xerxes had no chances up front in the first half. Rasmus has had no chances up front in the second half. And every shot I can think of has been from the edge of the box. Garnacho is our best threat going forward. Unfortunately, it's not a good threat, says Niki. And Vigo says, Elanga is a great reminder why we should stay patient with Garnacho. Elanga's turning 23, and now we moved him on 2 years. It's very good. Look, Vigo, I don't agree with the... Look, Garnacho's not played well. Dorgu's not played well. Maybe Xerxes and Agate haven't played well. Maybe a few other players haven't played well. But I'm not giving up on them because they haven't played well. You make a great point. Oh my God, look at the pace of Elanga here on Yoro. Oh my God, he's burnt him. But it's a good recovery tackle by Yoro. Great tackle by Yoro. Hi Mark, I'm excited by the idea of bringing in young players for the future, but not at the expense of experienced players starting, says Merckx. Everyone should gift a sub if Mount scores, says Kevin. I tell you what, it was a good recovery tackle by Yoro because Elanga absolutely burnt him for pace. Cut back. Garnacho. Mazraoui, that's a foul. Mark, what do you think will improve United on the pitch regardless of management, says Richard. Experienced players, mate. Like we can't... You can't build a team on youth. You need some experience with it. You can't keep adding youth to youth. Like, we need some experience. But we can't afford it. We can't afford to bring in the ready-made players. So they pretend, oh, it's best thing to do is buy youth, when actually it's all they can bloody afford. Yeah, Yoro gets the ball there. The ironic thing is, Alanga's pace would be perfect in this Amrim system, but we got rid of Alanga when Amrim wasn't here, and Forest developed Alanga. I think that's the biggest insult, is people say we shouldn't have got rid of Alanga, but we didn't develop Alanga. Alanga at Forest wasn't Alanga at United wasn't the player he is now. And would he have got the development that he's had at Forest over the last 2 years at United? No, he wouldn't have got it. So it's very arrogant to say we shouldn't have sold Alanga, because he made the right move for his career to the right club to develop, and he is now what he is. We would not have developed him. We wouldn't have done it, and he wouldn't be the player he is. Why does the red in my glass keep bringing the more joy than my other reds? Mark's better than the commentators we have here in Iceland, says Hilma. Thank you very much for your super chat. What age counts as youth, says Jahid? Development, mate. I think if if you're a player that's not experienced at the top level, then you're a developmental player, aren't you? I think this game's gone, isn't it? It's gone. Absolutely gone. I don't even see an equaliser. What minute did they score in? 5th minute. Just have a quick look. 5th minute. This game's been over since the 5th minute. Forest score a goal, defend, counter, goal, over. Fucking hell. I tell you what, we are going to have a very worrying end to this season, considering we've still got to go to Brentford, we've still got to go to Bournemouth, we've still got to go to Newcastle, we've still got to go to Chelsea, and at home we've got to play Villa and Man City. We've still got some bloody horrific games to come. Yes, it's all about the Europa League, but how many games have we lost in the Premier League now? 13? I said in the international break we'll lose 4 more Premier League games. Well, this is 1. And none of the subs have worked, have they? Rasmus came on. No service. Eriksen's come on. No service. You know, nothing has changed. PV34 says, do you think the Glazers will sell the club? No. Harry Maguire's coming on. Put him up front. Joseph Young, welcome to the Members Club. He says, if we had an experienced Gyökeres making threatening runs with the possession we had, we would have looked much different. Still got to get the balls, mate. I don't think it's about... look, fair play. You have an opinion. I don't think Osimhen or Gyökeres or Haaland or Kane or Lewandowski actually make any difference here. I think that's unfair on Xerxes and Rasmus. Like, the reality is, Xerxes, Garnacho, Bruno, Eriksen, Casemiro, Agate just haven't created anything that centrally this game. I think you've got someone like Messi might make a difference, who can get the ball on the halfway line and skip past 4 or 5 players. It's a joke. This team is playing like it's April Fool's Day and we're the fools, says Sonic. Started to get desperate with Hollywood Ball, says Isaac. The fight to get to the mighty 40 points mark continues, says Zane. Kyle says we picked brands and nostalgia over Elanga. Yoro man of the match, says Noah. Selling Elanga for 12 million and getting Anthony for 85 isn't the right move, says Joey. Hambo says, are you happy you drove Rashford out with your agenda, mate? I think Rashford drove himself out, mate, by not turning up for training, didn't he? I mean, I'm just listening to what the manager said about it. That was what he said. You know, it wasn't like he didn't have a chance in January to turn up and train well and get back in the team. Maguire's up front. He's done it before. Can he do it again? We've got a corner. It's not good. It's absolutely shit from Eriksen. I don't know why Eriksen's on corners. Spurs fans will tell you he rarely beats the first man. Everyone should gift a sub if Mount scores. We've done that one. Thank you very much. Best commentator, no question. Love from the States. Steve Nichols is garbage. You do get shit in over there, Omar, yes. You do. Don't forget player ratings, by the way. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. We will be covering that straight after this. $89 minutes. Fucking hell, mate. Late equaliser, maybe. Hopefully. Garnacho into Mount. Dorgu, first time cross. Just finds a red shirt. New system under Amram, still can't break down teams who sit deep, says James. We've not been able to beat the low block for a long time. Garnacho needs to go in the summer, says Jake. Simply not good enough. And Stephen says, what part of Amram ball do you think we need the most work on, Mark? I think we're talking here about for me, the biggest problem today has been the creativity centrally from the midfield and the number 10s. I don't think Dalot and Dorgu have been unwilling runners on the flanks, but I think that centrally, Garnacho's been poor. Xerxes second half dropping into the 10, couldn't get in the game. You know, Bruno struggled, Casemiro struggled, Agate struggled, Eriksen struggled. So that's 6 players, you know. But you know, I'll talk about it in the match reaction, but I think it's absolutely shocking to lose from a goal in the 5th minute. Dalot, come on, put the cross in. They're on the break. 2v2, De Ligt. He's up against Eriksen though. Does he realise? No, we've got numbers back now. Team lacks bravery and pace, says Chris. It also lacks know-how. And it's not streetwise, is it? It's all vibes and Hollywood. Like, that's a good ball into Dorgu. Cut back. Maguire, you're not a defender, mate. You're not a defender. He thinks he's centre-back. It's a brilliant clearance, but it's a lovely cross by Dorgu. No, he can't score it. It's hard to get his head around it. It's not that bad. It's not a bad miss. It was behind him. It was a brilliant defensive header, but you can't do that. We've looked dreadful in the second half since Agate came off, says Naf. Oak says, are you going to finally admit the system is crap? Are you going to finally admit you're an idiot? I mean, the fact that you actually did a super chat to say you think it's the system is hilarious, mate. So the system made Garnacho shit, did it? The system made every other player play shit, did it? Mate, grow up. Always want to win, but this helps keep City or Chelsea out the top 4. There's a silver lining, says Stephen. I'm disappointed. I genuinely thought we'd win this game today. Makes me sick to see what this club has reduced the iconic number 7 shirt to, says Colin. At least it's on the pitch, Colin. Yeah, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. We'll do player ratings on the match reaction. I don't know who you're going to go for as man of the match, by the way. That'd be very interesting. It's got to be a defender. Players are so shit. I can't stand them, Mark, says Mamouche. My friend, Sam, I don't even understand what sort of joke you think you're telling there. Boring. Oh, I thought it was going to find its way to Rasmus. Mental to think you'd have won this, Mark, says Harry. What is the system then? You don't even know, says Hambo. Mate, what are you talking about the bloody system for? This, you know the system, you're just letting the Glazers, Sir Jim Radcliffe and the players off the hook. You're just trying to lump it onto a manager again. And I'll tell you what, I'll give you a footballing lesson for free. Talking about the system puts it onto Amorim. Just like people put it onto Ten Hag, Ole, Josie, I can't pronounce the names properly, Van Gaal, etc. Like, you're just putting it onto the manager. At what point are you going to look at the last 10 years and look at the players and look at the recruitment and look at the owners and look at the debt and look at the real problems? The guy's been here 5 minutes. He's had one player who is 20 years of age and you're talking about bloody system. Idiots. Who are you going to bring in next then? Who's your next hipster coach that's going to come in and then after 3 months you start having a pop at them? You listen to idiots on social media who know fuck all about football and just want to sack another manager. That's basically what you do. Harry Dunmore up front, says Sir Gareth Southgate. Mate, you need blocking. I can't be arsed with idiots. I really can't. It's not funny. I actually do care about this club. It's not actually funny. I don't find it funny, and it's not funny. If you want to have a proper chat about what the problems are, let's do it. But I don't actually find it funny. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Thank you, everybody. The wall is fine, mate. Absolutely fine. I tell you what does get me angry. It's thick people talking about systems because they clearly haven't played football before. If I'm a coach and players come off the pitch and say it's the system, I'd go, fuck off. You're never playing again, you shit twats. You paid tens of thousands of pounds a week and you're blaming a system. Did my system tell you to misplace that 5-yard pass? Did my system tell you to shoot for the 5th time from 40 yards? No, it didn't. You can't do the basics right. If you did the basics right, the system would work. And I see it week after week, month after month, all the time. All the time. And for some reason, some people don't. And I don't get it. I really don't. United have just had one cleared off the line. Harry Maguire's done well up front. Lumping the ball into the box, you see. Route 1, Stoke City. Stoke City. Jordan, thank you very much for your super chat. Welcome back. I wish it was the international break. Finished. 1-0 to Forest. Well, we'll go over to the match reaction. Player ratings, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. You need to register to the website to do it. And obviously it's going to be very interesting when we do that. Totally shit from United, to be honest with you. I mean, you didn't even need to turn up. Forest win 1-0 would be the most obvious prediction for this game, and United walked straight into the trap, didn't they? Absolutely fucking awful. Awful. And I'll be unloading my thoughts on the match reaction in a minute or two. I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching.